All right, whoop, there we go. Audio works now. So, hey everyone, I'm going to do a recording on building a VM and running about 50 to 60 nodes of containerized EOS. Okay, looks like we're good on audio. And I'm going to run it in Proxmox. So I'm going to do it from scratch. I'm going to create a new VM. So I've been working on Debian 13. So this is going to be XL containerlab or XL Autobox. So the Autobox project is just a set of instructions that builds a bunch of different components like containerlab, Docker, code server for an IDE that's built into the system. And I've got a version for Alma, I got a version for Ubuntu, and now I'm working on a version for Debian. So we'll be using Debian 13, which was just released. And for disks, I'll put it under here. Let's do 100 gigs. We don't really need ton of, well, let's do 200. We don't need a ton of space here. And CPU, I'm going to give it 16 cores, and I need to make it host. It keeps defaulting to x86 version 2, but that doesn't work really well. For memory, we're going to use 80 gigs of RAM. So we're going to do 1024 times 80, 81920. Okay, so that'll be 81920. And excuse my voice, I have COVID again. So I caught it at a skydiving event. A bunch of people tested positive. So be careful out there, folks. So I've got this big VM here. So I'm going to do a graphical install of Debian 13. Now I've been working on making a template for it, but I haven't gotten around to finishing it up. So I'm just going to do a straight install here. United States, American English. Now, I've been kind of going back and forth between all of the different Linux distributions that might be appropriate for doing this kind of thing. And let's see, load up my thing here. So let's go ahead and we'll do this. We'll just save as. All right, so this is going to be making an Excel VM to run 50 plus cEOS nodes. Let's set the layout to, there we are. So one of the challenges is trying to figure out which Linux distribution to use for these network automation tasks. And I've been going back and forth between them. Now, honestly, I don't really care which Linux distribution I use. I want the one that's going to be easy to do. It's got a lot of resources, people that are writing guides for it, etc. And there's really two families to choose from when we choose a Linux distribution. The first family is going to be we'll call this Enterprise Linux. So that's going to be RHEL, Red Hat Enterprise Linux. That's going to be Alma. That's going to be Rocky. So this used to be CentOS Linux, but Red Hat discontinued CentOS Linux unilaterally without consulting the community. So CentOS was supposed to be Community Enterprise OS, but there's not much community in it if they just unilaterally delete it or get rid of it. So that's a whole thing. And then the other one is the Debian based. So at least in North America, those are basically your two choices. So either straight Debian or Ubuntu, which is based off of Debian. Now, most of these are good choices. I tend to either prefer Alma, Ubuntu, or Debian. Enterprise RHEL, so all of these are very close to each other in terms of, like, if you look at the file systems, the way things are laid out, where the config files are, versions of Python, etc. They're all the same, or all very similar. And then the same thing on the Debian side. So they're if you do one, like the package management systems are all the same for this one, and the package managers are all the same for this one. There's also SUSE, but I don't really see that much in North America. So I'm starting to lean more towards just straight Debian. And Debian 13 was just released like a couple of weeks ago. And I think I might be doing that instead. So I'm not going to set a root password. Instead, I'm going to use sudo. Real name of the user, put my name in here, continue. So Tony, I tend to use just my name, and then a password. I'm Pacific time zone, based in Portland, Oregon. So it's detecting my disks. I'm not going to do anything crazy like encrypting. I'm going to use the entire disk. It's 200 gigs. And we'll put all... Oh, yeah. So here's a question. Do we want to do all files in one partition, or do you want to divide them up? For network automation, probably just make it all in one. Because the different... like Docker puts a bunch of stuff in var. So I ran into a problem with that before. So I'm just going to put it all into one partition. If I were running a server that had a lot of log files, I would put var somewhere separately. So if var fills up, it doesn't stop everything else. But here, if I fill up the entire file system, it could cause problems with everything. But without knowing what the actual purpose of the system is, I'm going to be doing generalized network automation with this. I think just putting everything into one big partition is probably the best way to do it. I'm not going to do RAID or encryption or anything like that. So that should be good. I'm going to say yes. Partitioning the disks. So I have another one called Autobox Huge, and that's what I was running before, but that's running on an older version of Alma, Alma 9, something 9.4, I think. So I'm just updating everything and using this as a basis for figuring out how I want to provide instructions on doing Debian for the Autobox. In fact, I'm going to pull up VS Code. So this is Project Nerd. And I need a new file. So let me just make sure I've got... all of the... Do a pull. All right, I've got everything. Let's go ahead and close all this. So this is my local VS Code. Configure the package manager, media, do scan more media. I don't need any extra media. I do a very basic install and then just the stuff I need. I don't need a proxy. So Enterprise Linux uses DNF as the package manager. And then Debian uses apt Debian apt as the package manager. So when I started out as a Unix admin, there was no package managers. There was packages, but we didn't use them that often. In the 90s, you downloaded like MySQL or Apache, and you would compile it, tar it up, and then just copy that tarball onto the different devices and untar them and do a make install. And that was our packaging system. I don't want to use Popularity Manager. I do not want a desktop environment. Don't want to install GNOME. I do want an SSH server, standard system libraries. Do I want a Debian blend? I don't think so. I'd rather prefer just installing my own stuff. The one thing that I think is annoying though on Debian 13 is I don't think it installs sudo. Maybe if I didn't set a root password, it won't install. It'll install sudo. But configuring sudo afterwards is kind of a pain in the butt. I mean, it's not really that big of a pain, but it's nice when it's just installed already. All right, select install software. So I gave this system 16 virtual CPUs and 80 gigs of RAM, and I'm going to run 50 plus containerized EOS nodes. Install boot grub. Yeah, so it's a bootloader, and then we'll pick the disk. So that's just the bootloader to boot up the operating system. We're not doing dual boot or anything on this VM. I'm running this all on Proxmox. At some point, I'm going to upgrade Proxmox to 9. But 8's fine for now. Proxmox is actually Debian based. So I think a lot of people are moving towards Debian because of the foul taste in our mouth that was left when Red Hat unilaterally decided to discontinue CentOS Linux. That wasn't very cash money of them. All right, we're going to boot up into Debian. A very fast boot. Do we have sudo? Oh, we do have sudo. Okay, excellent. So I can do sudo. There's no vim, so I want to do... Oh, yeah. So I want... So there's the Ubuntu one. I'm just going to use this as the kind of the guide. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to make enable Ubuntu or enable Debian 13 as a shell script. So we want to install. Yeah. So here. So watch this. So I'm going to do sudo apt-y install Python 3 pip. I think that's what it is. I mean, that's going to do everything. So it's updating the latest, everything that it needs to update. So if I do pip install Ansible, for example, it's going to give me this, this environment is externally managed. I tried to make it as simple as possible and not use something called Python environments, but I don't think we can do that. I think we do have to actually make Python environments, which is kind of a pain. Because there's the system Python. So the system Python, a lot of system utilities are based on system Python, like the firewall manager, I think, is UFW. Oh, it's not even installed. So Python apt sudo apt install UFW. Is UFW Python based? It is. Yeah, so it's Python based. So it's tested against certain versions of Python. Like the system Python here is Python 3. Is Python 3.13, which is great. That's the most recent version of Python. But they don't like you installing a bunch of stuff on top of the system Python. So they want you to use Python environments, which is kind of annoying. So like if I do pip install Ansible. So we're going to do Python. I'm going to make directory Python .pyenv. Make directory .pyenv default. Yeah. Well, I think if I do Python 3-vnv home Tony pyenv default. Oh, I need to install pyenv. Apt install. So, what did I do so far? Where's my history? I'm running bash, but there's no history. What did I install? So I did, oh yeah, I need to install UFW. And I think I needed to install pip. I don't remember if pip was automatically installed. Yeah, I did have to install Python pip. What else do I need to do? apt-y install UFW. That's the firewall, command line firewall manager. It's based on Python. We do need to install. Whoa, did not mean to do that. Python 3.13 venv. Sudo Python 3.13 -venv. Make sure I got that right. And then we need to create that environment. I'll just call it default. And then we need to activate it. So source pyenv bin or default bin activate. So now I'm in a Python environment. So I can do Python or pip install Ansible. Let's see what we get installed. You know what I should do is I think that they're still dealing with the brokenness of Python or of Ansible. So I need to install Ansible 11, Community 11. I think it's let's try that. We're going to uninstall Ansible. Ooh. Yes, get rid of all that. So equals Ansible is it equal 11? Because we went with the latest 11 version. There's a way to say, like, oops, didn't mean to. Well, let's see if we can find a Yeah, tilde equals 11. Oh, I had it wrong there. Tilde equals, does it need quotes? Range of try to do less than 12. Okay. So the reason I'm not installing Ansible Community 12 is because 12 has Ansible Core.219, which breaks a whole bunch of stuff. So I need to put that into there. Okay, so I need to so Python 3-m and yeah, so make directory tilde is home, so tilde home and then env, and then create env default for, and then source env default bin activate. So that will activate the Python environment so that we can install Ansible. Because again, it really doesn't like it when you try to do that. The only annoying thing is that you have to switch into this Python environment whenever you're going to run Ansible. So that's kind of annoying. So what other utilities do I want to install? I definitely want to install Vim. Oh yeah, I need to install these. Oh yeah, so we'll do, so once we do that, we can pip install pip3. Does pip3 work here? Yeah, pip3 install Ansible less than 12 because we don't want 12 right now. Because Ansible Core 2.19 is what comes with Ansible Community 12 is broken and it breaks just about everything. I think they're working on fixing it. They might have even fixed it. I just haven't checked. But for now, we're just going to stay on Ansible 11. And then we'll also install Ansible lint. Okay. Looks good there. We need Argon because we're going to use that for password for code server. Git vim wget. Oh yeah, we're going to install btop. I love btop. So watch this. So do apt sudo apt. That's why install btop. That's why I love btop. Look at that. That's a pretty cool. So it's got 78 gigs of RAM, or it's got 80 gigs, but that's what it shows up in gigabits. Can't remember what they call it. All right, so need to install Git. Oops. Argon 2 vim wget curl. Oh yeah, so git on 2 vim wget curl. After that, we can install code server. Love code server. Oh yeah, that's problem is I don't think I can paste into this window. After this, we'll go in through okay, so that looks good. So we need to do sudo system control enable now code server at user. Okay, so that started code server. And then we need to allow port 8080 sudo apt get install. Oh yeah, we already installed UFW. So UFW allow 8080. Okay, cool. So what's my IP address? 150. It's a nice round number. Connection refused. Oh, probably not using yeah. We're going to set a better password in a second here. And then this script actually sets a better password automatically. So we need to do sudo system control. Hey, Wilson. Restart code server at user. So journal control XU, code server. Oh, system control stop code server. Already in use. Okay, see if that worked. protocol error. Oh yeah, so it wants, yeah. So this is not how I would normally do it. So this is not HTTPS, but we get into the local terminal here and it's on a local network. So it's not a big deal. And the script skips the HTTP entirely. So we'll do a color theme. I'm going to do dark. There we go. That looks more normal. Make a directory workspace. Should not be doing this in your home directory, I've learned. So the reason why I did all this is because I want the cut and paste that I normally don't get. So create a new file called enable.sh, and then this I can put in here. So that's already done. There we go. So now it's HBS. And I screwed up the password. So bash. All right. So what that does is it sets a password. So we have a secure password. Okay, so now we're secure, and then last thing I need to do is to run this. Which will set up a so set up. Did I get it? No, didn't get it. And set up TLS. Oh, I need to specify the IP address 192.168.1.150. There we go. So what this does is it makes a self-signed certificate that my browser can trust. Now what I'm trying to do at some point is I need to get this so that there's a certificate authority. But I haven't gotten to work with IP addresses. So do a local machine. I'm going to put it under root authority. And the thing that messed me up before is that I've got it installed, but I need to quit this browser and start it up again. There we go. So now it's trusted. Okay, so that's good there. The next I need to install the... I need to install the... I need to put this in the instructions too. I need to install Docker. Install Docker engine. So copy that. Let's make this bigger so everyone can see it. All right, so it looks like we've got that, and I could do install this. Gin. Turn that again. Okay, good. We are all set there. And then so for Alma 10. All right, so then I can do this. Put that down here. And install containerlab. All right, sudo user mod ag. All right, so that should be all we need. So now we need some images of containerized EOS. So I happen to have some locally. So I'll use FileZilla. And we're going to log, kind of hate FileZilla. 150. And then 4342F. We'll put that there. And then to import it, sudo docker, sudo docker image import cEOS as cEOS 4342F. Oh yeah, the cEOS. There we go. So it'll take a minute. All right, so now I need a topology, and I happen to have some on GitHub. So if we do nerd cLab topologies, I think there's there's huge in there. So I'll do, copy that. And then clone. And then there's this topology right here. So all I have to do is change this, change all occurrences to 2F. Because if we do sudo docker image list, so it's cEOS 434 2F. This is a huge topology. So I've got a ton of leafs. I've got it all connected in there. So if I do cLab, let me go into nerd huge, clo huge, and I do cLab deploy. It's going to deploy. It's like 58, I think. It's almost 60. Now, there is no other containerized operating system that I'm aware of that can do this many in a VM like this. Because the containerized EOS images are so lightweight. They're about a gig a piece. So if I do 50, I need 50 gigs and then plus some overhead for some other stuff. So 80 gigs is it's a big VM, but it's not, you should be able to make one. The hypervisor has 96 gigs of RAM. And it's got plenty of CPU for it. So it takes a while to spin them all up, and we can go into BTOP, see what's going on. Basically pegging all the CPUs, but that's to be expected. All right. Panic. Send to close on close. Oh, panic. Why did we panic? Sudo docker ps. Only did 33. cLab destroy. Did we run out of RAM? So let's check out Proxmox. Sometimes it'll run out of RAM, but I don't think it did. So let's try deploy. And we'll just keep a closer eye on things. So the CPU spiking is what we expect, and the memory should grow over time. panic, send a closed channel. It's a Golang issue. So it did start up some of them, but less this time. So why did it not like that? Because I've used this before. Let me, I'm going to take down, so it's only 20 nodes. Just reduce the number of nodes. Comment those out. So anything above 20. Anything above 20. Trying to figure out why it's freaking out. Okay, try that again. Able to find board leaf 1. So containerlab is written in Go language. Got the COVID. It's my 4th time with COVID. This time it doesn't seem very bad. Hopefully it'll stay that way. I've just got a scratchy throat. I'm a little tired. Feel a little achy. The first time I had COVID was real bad. I was sick for days. Sweating profusely at night. Aches. Felt like my skin was painful on my back. Second time was pretty minor. Not as minor as this, but pretty minor. Then the third time was more significant. Not as bad as the first time, but worse than the second time. This seems to be the least of all 4. I just hope it stays that way. All right, let's see how we're doing on RAM. So it's still pegged out on the CPU, which is expected for deploying out an entire fabric like this. All right, so Connection refused. I'm going to be right back. I'm just going to go for a bio break. Be right back, and I'm going to get some more water. All right, back again. If I do show LDP neighbors, you can see they've got a bunch of leaves. Let's go to one of the spines. At least 1 through 20. So that worked. I wonder what the limit is, because I was able to do this topology before. So let's do clab destroy. So that destroys the topology. I don't know if this is a memory problem or if it's a... I don't think it's a memory problem. So let's go up to 40 leaves. Or 39. Or if it's a scalability problem that's been introduced in a later version of containerlab. Because it did support this before, or at least it worked before. I don't know if it was supported officially. All right, so let's go ahead and deploy. Unable to find leaf 40. All right, there we go. Still 40 leaves. So I can show you, send a closed channel. Why is it sudo ps docker ps? How many did it start? 33 of them. Well, this is kind of annoying. Could it be a limit in there could be a limit in any number of places. So we're in containerlab. I wonder what version it is. Oh, version, clab version 6.9.3. If you want to see something, I'll take a little break here. If you wanted to see what I was up to this past week, this is from Skydive Chicago. So all of these airplanes, I was in this one right here. So I'm falling out of this one. That is bad quality. 720 at least. There we go. So her job right here is to watch for when people leave, so she can tell the other people that they need to leave too. So that's the lead airplane right there. I'm in this airplane. I'm one of these bodies falling right there. So it was 250 people, the fourth largest skydiving formation ever attempted. So that's what I was doing this past week. Okay. What I can do is I can try installing a different version of containerlab, one of the previous versions that would at least rule out that a newer version of containerlab might have a different limitation. But I have been able to do this before. I've got a couple of videos on it. So there's a way I can do specific version. Okay. There we go. So 6.8. I think that was the version I was able to do. Could be something like file descriptors or something like that. I really hope not, because that's kind of really annoying to try to diagnose. I can't believe I got COVID again. Looking good so far. The CPUs are still pegged out. I really like this interface. I've been playing around with doing some Python stuff that draws screens like this. It's pretty cool. So it does seem like this is some sort of limitation of the newest version of containerlab. Nope, never mind. Shouldn't have said something. So it looks like it's when it's creating the link, creating the Docker. Creating the link. So it's something about this, maybe the Docker version or the, yeah. So what I can do is I can clab destroy, All right. And then I'll just shut this one down. So this VM will stop. And then I'll open up the, so this, give it a chance to shut down. And I'll open up the other one, the huge one. Actually, you know what? It looks like it is a file descriptor issue. I'm going to shut this one down. I'm going to try to increase the file descriptors in the Excel system. See if that helps. I wonder if there's cvar log. Docker. Try that again, see if we can make it do the thing. And try to see if we can find some logs. Because the file descriptors looked pretty large. All right, send on closed channel. So I didn't open that many. I hate it when I find a new problem, because then I have to solve that new problem. Excuse me. It's not memory related. So, like, for example, we've only used 13 gigs. I've got a ton of free. I've got 60 plus gigs of RAM free. I need Docker system logs. Docker service logs. Docker service logs. Okay, here we go. Let's see some errors. Copy stream failed. Reading from a close FIFO. First in, first out. Last 100 errors. So we're going to destroy those. We'll see all of these. Let's go ahead and deploy. All right, so these look like errors I would normally get, maybe. CLI is the name of the program that actually runs the EOS syntax CLI. So let's look for something else other than that. Fail to close containers standard in. Okay, hasn't busted out yet. I think 0 point. Maybe it's a transient error. Back in my day, we would do tail-F.
A is for Apple. A always stands for Apple. There's nothing we can do about that. That's the cloud!
So we're still climbing on memory, but it's not going crazy. So we still have plenty of RAM left. The Proxmox system itself, we've still got plenty of RAM left. That's usually the problem I've run into, is just running out of RAM. Bad things happen when you run out of RAM. There's a lot of errors here. I've never really looked at these logs, so I don't know if these errors are normal.
I'm just goofing. New boot goofing. Oh!
All right, now we get the error. Doesn't really tell us. anything. Got almost all of them running. So got all 3 spines. Don't have all the leaves. Like I'm missing leaf 1. There's it is. Where's leaf 2? Leaf 2 is there. So we do 29. Nope. Should have. Oh, wow, look at that. It didn't even finish. It's supposed to fill Etsy hosts. Okay, so we're just going to do clab destroy. So leave 32. It crapped out on leaf 32. Looks like it only missed one of them. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start up huge. So logs didn't really tell us anything. There's a lot of errors in there, but I think they're normal.
A is for Apple. A always stands for Apple. There's nothing we can do about that.
So they both run 80 gigs, which they can't coexist, but one's not using any RAM, so we should be okay here. It's 250, so let's load up this one. This is one of the earlier ones I made. And network CD slow huge. What version am I running? This is 6.9. So this is the most updated version. So let's go ahead and deploy this. See if it works. And also do some, let's see if the errors are the same. So what was it? That. Yeah, same errors. So they're both running the same version of containerlab. Let's watch the memory utilization. So CPUs are pegged, but that's normal because we're starting up like 50 nodes. That was for earlier. I'll open up a Discord. So there's a Discord. I'm gonna do a search in it. Yeah, looks like that worked. So if I go into spine 1. No, wait. Oh, that's Autobox. Oh, still going. It takes a while to start all this up. This is a system I've riced my command line. It's kind of a cringy term. All right, so I got that. Did this system crash? It did. I think I ran out of overall RAM. All right, so I'm going to shut this one down. Maybe it was a RAM problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reboot this whole system. Just reboot Proxmox. No big deal. Just to at least eliminate that as a problem. A friend of mine messaged me saying that every time I say C-Lab, she hears this C-Lab 2021 theme song.
No, it's alright. I don't think my folks want.
All right, so I'm going to start up the infrastructure VM because I need that for DNS. Hello, computer. All right, I'll be right back. I'm going to see if I can figure out why my hypervisor is not coming back up. I'll be right back. Shows up. No, just took a minute. All right, so let's start up the XL. So it might have been overlapping memory utilization on Proxmox because I had some other VMs. I don't need this started. I can stop this one. So it might have been a hypervisor issue. We'll see. Because I had two 80 gig VMs running at the same time. So yeah, my COVID symptoms so far, just scratchy throat, occasional dry cough. A little bit of achiness, but it's not too bad. So far, I haven't had a fever, at least not that I've measured. I thought I might have had one earlier, but I checked. Did not. So this is an 80 gigabyte VM, and I've got 96 gigs on the hypervisor. So we look at the summary, we can see how much RAM it's using. So it's still got a bunch more. It's about a gig per VM, or gig per container. Still going. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I think it's just dirty RAM. Okay, so I'm going to do clab destroy. I think the problem was I had two different 80 gig virtual machines running, and it had RAM contention. So resetting the system helped. So I'm going to go ahead and make it. Man, that was weird. Just going to uncomment everything. Thank you for joining me on this journey. So that I don't know what's Kermit the Frog. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Everything commented out. Nope. All right. Deploy it again. I'll be right back. Kermit the Frog doesn't work for a green screen very well. Panic sent it. Gosh darn it. Never had to do this before. So I'm going to try to reboot this. Rebooty. Just to clear the memory. Reboot's pretty quick. Oh yeah, I'm on an older version of containerlab. Check. I'm waiting and waiting. Takes a long time to start up this many nodes. This problem with these complex systems. So I don't know if this is a containerlab issue, if it's a Debian issue, if it's a Proxmox issue. It's kind of looking like a Proxmox issue. Maybe. Or maybe. I don't know. Nothing's definitive yet. Logs aren't really telling us anything.
Actually, it's going to be super easy, barely an inconvenience.
All right, I've got 2 sounds ready depending on if this works. That's if it doesn't, and then...
All I do is win, no matter what.
A is for apple. A always stands for apple. There's nothing we can do about that.
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Do. Do. Got the song Legend Has It from Run the Jewels stuck in my head.
I mean, cloud. They have it's databases.
How about the next question?
And operating systems and memory and microprocessors and the internet. And all of a sudden, it's none of that. It's the cloud.
Larry Ellison freak out.
It's the cloud. It's the cloud.
Still going. This is promising. Creeping up on my RAM. Yeah, that's about right. 60 gigs used. I wonder if it's like a RAM allocation thing through the virtual machine. Oh, there we go. Cool. All right. So it works in Debian. So I don't know why it didn't work before, but if I go into Spine 1, I do show LDP neighbors. Look at that. 50 leaves, 2 border leaves. There's an external device. So let's configure all this. So if I do show IP BGP summary, there's not going to be anything there because BGP is inactive. But if we go into AVD, so we need to we need to start the Python environment. So it's what was it? Source pyenv default bin activate. So now we've got a default that environment there. We need to do pip install pyavd. Okay. We need to do Ansible Galaxy collection install arista.avd. See what version gets installed. I think 6.0 is coming out soon. Looks 551, so that's about right. So if I go into Ansible playbooks, and I build the confabric, distlib. So I need to do pip install distlib. Build fabric. All right, so I just built a config for all these devices. I can ignore this for now. So I just built config figs, and then let's go ahead and do deploy. unauthorized. So that probably means my password is, oh yeah, password's actually admin. So try that. Unauthorized. It is admin 123. Oh yeah, it gives an error, and then if I do it again, it should work for all of them. Because the config it generates is password something else, so we just gotta have these error out. So I still don't know if this was a Proxmox issue or a Debian 13 issue. It does work on Debian 13. It'd be interesting to see if I killed all this and then started it up, if it would give me that error again. And then I'm in 1, 2, 3. There we go. So the cool thing about AVD is basically I just built without doing anything other than I already had this already set up. If I go to Leaf 1, I do show BGP summary. I have a full EVPN VXLAN fabric running. And then if I wanted to, I could go in group vars and I could change, what is it? So avd.arista.com, collection roles, we'll do designs, input variables, and 5549. Underlay RFC 5549. It's actually 8950. It's 8950 now. So here I'll just rebuild the config. So what I'm doing is I've told AVD to not use IPv4 for the BGP underlay, to use IPv6 unnumbered now. And it's just one line. And it's changed all the configs. And I'll go ahead and push it. And you'll see these sessions go down and they'll come back up. Since we're changing the protocol for the underlay, it is a disruptive change. But it should come back up in a second here. There we go. So now it's IPv6 for the underlay. Okay, so what have we learned? I don't know. I've got some work to do on the Debian 13 script, but I've got a lot of headway here. And I'm not sure why it was giving the error. It seems to be a RAM issue, a resource issue, but it doesn't seem to be Debian 13 related. So I'll try one more thing. So I'll do clab destroy. So I'm just going to take all this down, all that hard work. It's pretty incredible that I can build a 50 node, it's 50 plus. It's like not quite 60, between 50 and 60. I forget the exact number. Containerlab deployment in an 80 gigabyte VM with 16 virtual CPUs. You can see the memory usage crept up to about 60 something. But now it's like 3 gigs because I destroyed all those VMs. So I'm going to do a clab deploy. See if I can get it to work consistently. So clab deploy reconfigure. And we'll see what happens. Still going. Still going. And it crashed out. I wonder what it's doing then. I think this is a Debian 13 related issue because it did not happen with the other one I've got. So I'm going to shut this one down. We didn't even get to max.memory. Proxmox host. Didn't get it. We still had memory there. So I'm going to shut this down and start up huge. Actually, I'm going to reboot this. Wait for this to fully shut down. Okay, now it's fully shut down. And I will do a reboot on Proxmox. Just to make sure memory is all clear, and because these are really big VMs for the hypervisor. So this will be a minute to reboot. I'll be right back. That could be a Linux kernel, could be a lot of different things. Why causing this issue to happen? Why don't I do this? I'll create Autobox. I'll create it on based off of did I just make sure I put it in the right disk space? Yeah, I did. Okay. I'm going to clone this and call this XL Autobox or XL Alma 10 Autobox. And then I will change the RAM because I will definitely need more RAM. What was it? 80 times 1024, 81,920. You don't have to be that exact. I need to give it all the cores. This is a 16 core system. Start all this up. So this is Alma instead of Debian. And it should have everything installed. So I don't have to go through that install process. Yeah, Docker's already installed. So if I do IPA .23. All this stuff installed. Containerlab is not installed, so install that. And then Get the nerd topology. No images, so I need to put that on here. 23. Could be even a version of something to do with a version of cEOS coming up the work somehow. Let's import that image. Change this. Okay. Lab deploy. Oh, that panicked real quick. So this is not an Alma issue, or it's not a Debian issue. Something. Did I make sure that it was big? What do we got here? 80 gigs. I wonder what the heck. All right, I'll shut this one down. And I'll load up Huge. So this is, maybe it's a kernel version, because this is an older version of the kernel, Linux kernel. It's taking a long time. Reconfigure. I'm going to shut this stream down in a minute here. Watching paint dry.
Actually, it's going to be super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Still going. Still look like it's okay. It takes a while to start up 50 something nodes. There we go. So how many nodes did we actually do? So do sudo docker ps word count. 61. Wow, 61 nodes. So if I do clab destroy, so that basically kills everything that I just set up. Took 5 minutes to start all that up, by the way. 8 seconds to destroy. Maybe it's the version of maybe it has something to do with the version of so that was 4332F. That would be really annoying if that was the problem. So 5 minutes to try. Let's see how that's...
A is for Apple. A always stands for Apple. There's nothing we can do about that.
Dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
I'm just goofing. New boot goofing. Oh!
It's from Reno 911, if you remember that show. It was a good show. So this might be related to the version of EOS. It's kind of annoying that it takes 5 minutes to figure out. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream now because I think I'm going to make myself some dinner while this goes on.